Hello, everybody. Welcome to NUFC Talk TV live with another live show. Of course, late night discussion with the twins, with Gary. Mighty Win should be coming at some point. He says he's busy cooking, so I guess cooking comes before the channel. That's fine. No
The
problem.
naked chef.
Yeah, and the naked chef as well. He only has
The
an apron on. I said, well, then you can just stick to cooking then. I mean, that's fine if you want to do that. Yeah, he said it's gonna take him a long time. Just some chips that he's eating. So I don't know. Hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe. And what was that, mate?
With a can of Foster's.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. Of course.
His favorite.
Hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe, like I said, and become a member if you can. Good perks. You can watch the NUFC Extra Time on replay for members only. You got the quiz night for members only. You got other live shows as well as exclusive giveaways for members only, which we're going to do 2 in a row basically tomorrow. We should do it for the quiz night. So you should show up for the quiz tomorrow. And the quiz tomorrow is just going to be about the Champions League season 23-24. So no other questions, just 23-24, Champions League, PSG, the PSG game. We got a bunch of stuff. 23-24, Champions League season. So please join us tomorrow for the quiz night at 10 p.m. UK. And so have your answer out there. All right, so new stadium. We were going to have this show. Basically, everybody was going to be off other than me and Win and talk about the former, late Newcastle player Gary Speed. We had good stuff on him. We're going to still do it, obviously, at some point. But we thought there's an interesting report that came out from Craig Hope today about the possibility of a new stadium. Some kind of exclusive, some kind of insight on what Newcastle United might decide for a new stadium. I read bubble wrapped, and I thought, what is that? And then Gary sent me a picture of, I guess, a bubble wrap stadium. Birmingham, was it?
Yeah, Selfridges were one of the first places in Britain to have this style of building, if you like, which is, I suppose, from a distance, it does look like bubble wrap, but they call it the mirror of some description. But I mean, it's a strange look, if I'm honest with you. But it's whatever tickles your fancy, I suppose.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they own the club; they will do whatever they want.
Absolutely.
And fans, what are we gonna do? Not go to it? No, we're just gonna go right to it. Spend all the money in the world in the new stadium, and that's just how it goes. But we still have a discussion anyway, and we want to know your opinion. So please let us know in the chat below. And what else? So the exclusive includes capacities of St. James's Park expansion plus new stadium revealed, according to Craig Hope. Industry experts behind Anfield upgrade in running for design project. Club have seen drawings, one with bubble wrap exterior. And so we're going to get into the full, article here. I know a lot of people don't have access to these confidentials from the Daily Mail because you got to pay for them. I, for some reason, don't have to pay for them because I'm in America, so they're free to me. It's kind of weird, isn't it? It's kind of weird how the UK works. It's kind of weird how the UK works. I mean, all the games are streamed in the US, but not in the UK. Even the media now has these confidentials that are not confidential to Americans, but to the whole of England. Yes, got to keep those UK. Well, I guess pounds are worth more than dollars, so I guess they're getting their money worth. I guess I don't know.
Is that what you call the land of the free, Chris?
Yeah, land of the free, baby. Home of the brave, land of the no, wait, never mind. Let's not get into that. But anyways, what do you got? I mean, I sent it to all of you so you can take a look at it. What do you think about it? I mean, we'll go. I mean, let me read, I guess, a few paragraphs so we can get a head start and then go from there. Newcastle United are set to engage architects to lead the redesign of St. James's Park or build a new stadium on nearby Leazes Park. And confidential from the Daily Mail can reveal the proposed capacities and the industry leading firm in the running. London-based KSS have been working with Tyneside architect Ryder. Is that what the name of it, or what is a Ryder? I guess that's the name of the Tyneside architect.
Yeah.
And have met with the club, drawing on how the two options would look have been produced and seen by staff inside St. James's Park. So, um, I mean, the rebuild, it's just, I mean, the way even the way they report it every time, just expanding St. James's Park doesn't seem like a good option though, man. Although me and Tim, we have a conversation about staying in the same St. James's Park, but man, 8,000 seats, that's it. For a lot of money, maybe I don't know if it would be the same amount of money as a new stadium. I wouldn't think so, but a lot of money still. I mean, what do you guys think? You read the article?
Yeah.
Twins lineup. Tim.
Well, I think with what you're saying about every report you're hearing, it seems less and less appealing to stay. And I think the club, in my opinion, are drip feeding this information to. I mean, like I say, I do think they probably do want a new stadium, and this has been a long process of information coming out, being leaked out about how restrictive it is to stay at St James's Park, and now. The talk initially actually was about 65,000. I'm sure I read that in some articles, potentially go up to 65. And now it's went down to 60. And I think it's very possible. I think that they're looking to move and they want the okay from the fans before the rubber stamp it. I mean, what I would say is if you do extend St James's along with level 7, aesthetically, it would look immense for me. Obviously, I know it's only 8,000. That's a totally different matter in terms of the economics of it all. But in terms of how it would look so imposing. And I would love it just purely for that. And you stay in the same historic place. But, I do appreciate that the economics of it might mean that it's worth moving to try and catch up with the teams with PSR. But I think there's so many factors to it, and you've got to be, in my opinion, like really careful as to how you go about it, and whether it's location, whether it's ticket pricing, whether it's the look of the stadium. There's so many factors to consider, and I would want to know how they are deciding those factors before I'm kind of happy. I mean, with the bubble wrap, I'd like to see what you've sent there, Gary, because from other stadiums I've seen that are termed bubble wrap, they don't appeal to me. And the last thing
No,
I'd
mate.
want to do is to move to a new stadium where it looks like a bloody sci-fi spaceship or some kind of extended test scores. Like, I'm sorry, but you can spend all the money you want, but I don't want to move into something like that. It needs to be imposing, needs to be an actual football stadium. You can have all the events going on, you can have all the corporate stuff you want, but it needs to look like a pretty imposing football stadium where it's got the 4 stands in the corners. That's how I'd want it to be, and that's a really big thing. And I don't want to throw away St James's Park for something that looks or would look dated in a few years, or just looks, like I say, like a shopping centre. But then you've got the ticket and prices to consider, and I'll leave it there. I'll just throw one thing out before I let this have a turn. But I think with the ticket and prices, one thing I've heard is about Bayern Munich, and I don't know the details, but apparently Bayern Munich have a lot of corporate seats, but then a lot of standard ticketing seats. So it's kind of 50-50. But obviously they've got a massive stadium. So when it's 50-50, you can still allow a lot of the working class fans in. So I'd be looking at something like that. If we were to go to a new stadium, maybe 75,000 and have a lot of corporate seats, have a lot of boxes around, but ensure that it's dovetailed with affordable tickets for working class fans, because that's such an important factor, I think, when you go to a new stadium with the
All right.
atmosphere.
Well, you mentioned the Allianz Arena of Bayern Munich. Unless you were, I mean, I'm assuming you were talking about Bayern Munich, unless it's Bayern Leverkusen Stadium. But
No, it's the Munich.
Bayern Munich's the Allianz Arena is, I think, imposing. It's huge. I love what it looks like outside. I mean, it's kind of like the Las Vegas Dome. I mean, it's a whole huge bowl where they can, just put whatever on the outside as far as like you can show lights or whatever really. Don't know if you categorize that as what you'd say or something that you didn't want it to be, Tim. Obviously, You guys know what it looks like. I mean, I think I need to show it to
It's a
you.
bit, yeah.
I
Have you
mean,
seen Le Havre, their stadium in France?
in France.
Yeah, KSS architects who have been reported to be talking to Newcastle in that article there, they done Le Havre's stadium as well, and that's got that bubble wrap kind of effect. And
Yeah, yeah.
to be fair, like at first glance, you kind of think, oh, looks all right. Like it's quite a neat design. But I think my issue would be you've got all these stadiums, newish stadiums being built recently, the last sort of few decades, and I don't know. I just think, would you want your stadium to be so similar looking to another three, four, five other clubs around the world where suddenly it looked great, but maybe it's not unique to your club? It seems to be going that way a little bit when you look at some of these designs, but I mean, I think that I can see people, I can see why people might look at it and think, oh, that looks quality because it has got like maybe it is a bit too sci-fi-ish, like Timmy says.
I mean, like I said, I don't know. Would like a stadium like the Allianz Arena be bubble wrapped? I mean, it kind of does look like it would be. I guess to be fair, let's take a look at it. Mighty Win in the building now. You done cooking your chips, man?
Uh, You've got to be the most disorganized person I've ever met in my
Because
life.
you know why? Because we're not talking about nature, or we're not talking. It's football, man. Things change every time, and now the Confidential by Craig Hope talking about new details on the new stadium or expansion. So we got to talk about that, man.
Yeah,
And
hey,
apparently
what's the difference between 9 o'clock and 30:30?
that we can do it early.
30 minutes.
Exactly. I can say that to you. I can say that about you. So would this be considered a bubble wrap?
Yeah, no,
Uh,
No, I don't think that's bubble wrap.
there's the Le Havre one looks a bit more, I think, sort of like smoother.
Well,
That's got
yeah,
more kind of.
Yeah, I tell you, no, I tell you
the
one thing though.
the,
This
the Le
stadium
Havre
looks-
is called Le Ocean. The idea
Yeah.
of the idea of that is supposed to look like a big wave, because it's that
I'm-
deep blue
look.
color, if I remember right. Is that right?
I'm not gonna lie
It's got
though.
blue tint, I think.
Yeah.
I'll have to look at it again, but yeah,
Here.
it's bluish tone.
If this is bubble wrap, I love this stadium, man. I love the way this stadium is. Where Tim, you were talking about imposing. Look at the cars. Look how small the cars look down on the bottom.
Yeah.
You know, it's. I mean, you walk by this and you cannot not look at it. I mean, I take that as a positive. I don't know. You know, I think Tim and Peter maybe are more of the old school hometown.
I am old
Just
school.
a
You know,
little
really
stadium.
fun.
You want to move to to where I don't know Luton play. They want some games.
Want it to be rough around the edges.
They want some. No, but go on, man. Have yourself, of course, Peter. I don't think. Well, you did. What, are you for it? I mean, you know,
Um, honestly, like I wasn't. If you'd asked me even just last year, I would have been like dead set on staying at St James's Park. But and I
I
kind
think
of
I think they're basically talking just about moving, 100 yards.
yeah. No,
well,
but
they
the
do
moving part
mention
is not the issue.
They mention the Leazes Park, don't they? And I'm
Yeah.
curious as to why they've specifically mentioned that in the article, because a lot of people have said in the past that that wouldn't be easy to move there, but Craig Hope has said that that's where they're looking at, so they must have had some kind of like discussions behind the scenes. You would have thought
I
by
would have
now,
thought.
certainly with people who the right people to speak to and who are associated with that land. If that is the case, that would, for me, that would be, I could see it'd be more appealing then to I could come down to the idea of moving if it was a location like that where it's just right next door. St.
Yeah,
James.
yeah. I mean, I think most people agree with that. But you know what you can do with this. I mean, look at the lights changing and all that. That's amazing, man.
I'll tell you what, Chris, right? Just on that, I agree. That does look from the outside, it's
You can put Alan Shearer's face on there. You can put Miggy's face up. Not Miggy.
mind
anymore,
you,
but,
right?
yeah, and you can do a lot of stuff. Eddie Howe there for the happy clappers. You know, it's amazing, bro.
Yeah.
Go on,
Again, you're right though. In terms of, I guess, a bit old school because when I look at Tottenham's, and I don't want to sound like bloody negative on the show tonight, but yeah, like Tottenham Stadium gets a lot of praise, and don't get us wrong, it's an architectural feat, but they've got all these LED messages flashing around. And if you watch the match, come on, you Spurs, flashing around every sort of like 2 seconds. I think to me that's like very
That's
Blackpool.
corporate.
kind of a different topic, though, isn't it? That's just what you do when you're in the
That's the
stadium.
aesthetics of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but there's a lot of Spurs fans that don't like it.
Do they not?
Well,
No,
Right.
there's a
but
lot of Spurs fans think it just makes it look cheap, if I'm
Yeah.
honest.
yeah, no, I
Yeah.
mean, you can have that. You can think that. I mean,
Yeah, but-
yeah, go on, mate.
so just that's one of the criticisms, like you say. I've heard that, Gary. The Spurs fans are saying, "Well, what are we? Are we a is this a concert
Yeah,
arena, or are we a football club?" And obviously, it kind of ties in with Levy
Yeah, no, you're right. In that.
spending as he spend. So I know, like, a lot of
I
it
got
might
you,
be
Wayne.
perception that way. But yeah, I think it comes down to how the club act as well, and how ambitious we are in terms of trying to
I
get to the
think-
top. So maybe that won't be levied at us if we're actually ambitious on the pitch.
And we're talking about this stadium here. And we just picking the Allianz Arena, by the way. We can talk. Atmosphere doesn't change, brothers. Atmosphere, look at that. All of that full of joy. Obviously, you can't do that in England. Yeah, a bit of a softies in England. But if you put that on there, man,
Yeah, but I
That
think the
is
club would
atmosphere.
they'd have to arrange, I think, like for the ticketing and for the season tickets and
look at that them walls, man. You know how many people you would fit in that. I mean, how big is the Allianz Arena, by the way? I mean, how many people does it fit in? Because this is unbelievable, man.
I have no idea at the top of my head. It's
That's where Mighty Wayne want to be, right there in the middle of that. Drunk.
No, I've got up what I want to be in the middle of.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna show you. I want to show you in a minute. Ni bother, man. Yeah, but I mean, that's. I
you
think
just you
the
still fancy-
atmosphere, though, Peter. The atmosphere doesn't change.
I
Though,
agree
man.
with that. The atmosphere
Well,
should.
they've got an end of that stadium
But-
specifically
right.
for fans who want
Well,
to
you
be
have to
vocal
do that.
and passionate.
Let's get onto that.
We're gonna get into that conversation tonight. Let's do that, shall we? Not yet, but we're gonna do it tonight because we've
Yeah.
got both of you here. Because it's a good story that these two twins have about atmosphere at St. James's Park under Ashley era. They were ultras, man. It was them. They had to kick them out for being delinquents. No, we're joking, but we're gonna get into that, of course. But
yeah,
I mean,
according to the figures, Chris, the Allianz Arena is 75,000 capacity.
and look, it looks like 200,000 people in there.
Yeah, it looks massive, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So and that's what we're talking about. The report says that Craig Hope is talking about. It's about 70,000 people. The new stadium, So it's not what people are expecting, 90, 100,000. And I think people might agree on that number. I think we can go 80, but I mean, it is what it is. But as you see here, obviously you don't get to have those wonderful lights, but the atmosphere shouldn't change. Tottenham it's a twat club, man. They're not us. This is Geordies never change. You understand what I'm saying? That you can never buy that out. So the atmosphere should never change. Now I know some people complain about the atmosphere, especially the Bournemouth. I could agree a little bit, but people ain't drunk enough.
Well, it's really, really weird. You're talking about obviously the Tottenham Hotspur as a whole. If you look at what they can actually spend in the transfer market because of what that stadium gives them, they could spend without even looking at PSR issues 190 million in January. The biggest problem a lot of the Tottenham fans are saying is the board take a massive chunk of the revenue that come through that door as the shareholders and the like. Don't know how true that is. I don't follow them. And I don't want to follow them. But that's what they keep saying. At the end of the day, that's why they were Levy out a lot of the time. But I mean, at the end of the day, if you look at where they are commercially compared to us, it's yards apart, it's miles apart. And I think we need to start looking at where we need to be to compete going forward.
And by the way, I do agree with Win. I mean, obviously, this is. I mean, it's not going to happen.
Surely
but
not.
It's not. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. However, a stadium like this, I would die for, because it literally represents.
that
I
one.
mean, yeah. I mean, it's fiction. It's fiction.
Yeah.
But could you imagine that? That looks like That looks England. That looks like
Exactly.
England. It's a freaking castle, man. It's a Newcastle. No pun
Yeah,
intended.
I see your point.
No
I
pun
see your point.
intended. Absolutely pun intended. It's a Newcastle.
Yeah. I mean, it's that
It's
would
got
be
character. It's got character to it, hasn't it?
it's England.
Yeah.
That's not fitting into stadiums like that. Super stadiums they're building all over the world. That is Newcastle.
Yeah.
that
Do you
would
know
be
what?
crazy.
You're right. Yeah, yeah. No, that's something like that would be, like I say, epic. It would. It ties in obviously with the club. It's imposing. I mean, it's crazy, really, but I like it's got a
And
quirkiness to it.
they,
I
they
like.
are all all the columns are hotels, part of a hotel. With a
There's your
penthouse
corporate.
at the top.
Well, Nathan says it looks nothing like England. It looks Bavarian. I don't know. I mean, well, obviously, I mean, but I think I would go for that. I mean, it is fiction, to be fair. So I mean, people are gonna look at us like, "What are you guys talking about, man?" Or is it not fiction?
Well,
Anything is fiction.
the
Anything,
construction cost of that would way exceed what modern construction costs.
anything is fiction until it happens. But I need to look it up in Las Vegas. And yes, what is it? Basically, Las Vegas Dome or something like that. The Sphere, yeah. I mean, you guys probably haven't heard of it, but it's an unbelievable building where they play crazy stuff, similar to what we saw as far as the what is it called? There was an event outside of on the Tyne Bridge maybe last year where they were showing Alan Shearer, Milburn. Was it on the Tyne Bridge, Mighty Wings?
Oh, the lasers. Yeah.
Okay, so where they show stuff.
On the Baltic.
Imagine, having this or on the stadium. I would like to show before we're gonna show Gary's idea as well. We got a lot of time. No worries, man. We got a lot of time right now. The Twins are fed. They've got their, they're good. Mighty Winds just it took 3 hours to fry chips. He got it done. Gary looks well fed. Got a new haircut. So we're all good. We're all good. I haven't eaten though. So yeah, all day, man. All day I haven't eaten. I'm feeling a little dizzy right now because I'm smelling the
With the
food.
world of good.
Wayne, what's wrong with you, man? Why you got an issue with me, dog?
Because I haven't eaten either.
Oh, I can't. Why can't I share now? For some reason I can't. Oh, there we go. Now we're good. Sorry. Let me switch it to this. This is the Las Vegas Sphere, and just take a look. I mean, look at this, man. That's just it just screens. That's what it is.
Bloody
I
sick.
mean,
Is that with the emoji face and stuff?
yeah, well, I think so. I mean, they may have done that. They do it all the time. It's brand new, and look, it's more for the for the show, for the entertainment. But just imagine doing this with Alan Shearer or any previous if we ever win a trophy, having the celebrations. You can say it's just unbelievable. This, man. I don't know that you guys are buying it because but at the
It's
end
a
of the
big-
day.
Come on, Gary. Yeah.
It's a selling point, isn't it? This is what I said.
And I'm not talking about the sphere in itself. I mean, obviously it'll be stadium like, but you get
Well,
the
I'll tell
point.
you
but
what,
it proves what you can do with anything these days. I mean, there's, I mean, you look at what we had with the drones. For me, that was phenomenal. Just watching, lights in the sky at the shape of a shirt with a seller. I mean, seller did amazing for that, and that's what I said. All these things are what I call sellable assets, if you like. They draw fans in on special occasions. So if you were going to do, I mean, how many thousands was there at the flour mills to do the laser? There was thousands there. How many were there at the drone show? Again, it draws crowds
Exactly.
in,
And
and it's all weathers.
And by the way, thank you, Ian Flynn, for gifting the membership, mate. Thank you. It's going to Steve Clancy. So congrats, Steve. You can't tell me that PIF can't make money off of this in the Toon. Just put Sella right there once a night or whatever.
You could.
It may-
You can put some good stuff on. I mean, that is tacky. For me, that's tacky as hell. Those emojis.
I know that, but I mean, you can put anything you want. That's the point, though.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's Las Vegas, isn't it? I mean, they
It
are
is Las
selling a
Vegas.
product within Las Vegas. There.
Where's the echo
not-
coming from, by the way?
I have no idea.
Ain't got no echo, man. You must have the TV on or something.
No,
I've got nothing in my ears.
Oh, no.
It's definitely not me. But I mean, look, it's just spectacular, and people in the chat are gonna tell me, "Oh, Chris, you're a twat American, so you of course you'll like it." I think you can make a lot of money out of this. By the way, as far as finding, we're talking about bringing in money. This could do something for us as well, as far as that's concerned. And it's not. Don't get Joe Linton. Don't get fixated on a big emoji. No, that's not the point, man. The point is you can do whatever you want with
Do
it.
whatever you want on it.
We can put NUFC Talk TV outside of St. James's Park. How much would that cost us? How much would that cost us? You think a couple million? So for like 30 seconds. Come on, man. But Gary, we didn't get you. You read the article. So what did you think about the whole idea of what Craig Hope was reported?
Well, obviously, again, it's whatever's leaked, and I suppose the first thing you have to go with that is I've read as well, and I think there was somebody in the chat earlier on turned around and said, it's been delayed now because obviously all of this was going to be mentioned at the end of March, where everybody was literally going to be talking about it, or at least saying what their intentions are, whether they're going to expand St James's Park or actually look at moving out. Now, according to all reports that I've read, it's going to be delayed until the end of the season. So I still think even if the Leazes Park avenue, if you like, if you want to go down that way, there's probably still a lot of red tape still to go through, a lot of bureaucracy. But it looks like, according to all the other stories that you read, that it looks like it's a goer. It seems as if that's going to be where they're aiming to put this new ground. They don't want to move out of the city centre, and it probably will be somewhere placed in Leazes Park. That's an assumption. I have no other news on that. But when you start reading through it, the one thing that gets me, and I'm very much with what Tim said earlier when he turned around. I think the horseshoe at St James's Park, if they were to build the Gallowgate up to match the 7 on height-wise and bring it all the way around, the money that would cost them, is nearly the same as building a brand new stadium. And for the capacity-wise, by 8,000 to jumping it up to nearly 20,000 in seats, I think you have to think of the revenue that extra capacity will bring in to the club. I've just seen that come up on the screen.
Thank you, thank you, Mighty Win official fan club. Thank you for the £5. This famous panel tonight, left to right. Lister from Red Dwarf, Actor Rip Torn, the Tenali Twins, and Norris from the Coronation Street.
Yes, that's fine. Thank you,
cheers, man. Appreciate that.
Thank you, buddy.
I appreciate that. But anyways, so when you obviously is staying true to yourself, have not prepared for the show, have not read anything we've sent out as we do like a proper show. You were busy making your damn food. Did you even make it all, or did you eat it?
No, I've left it half done.
Oh, man. All right. Well, what do you think about this new expanding the stadium? Would be, what is the difference? Like they would add 8,000 more if we expand it.
To me, spending they're talking about £1 billion that it would cost to expand the Gallowgate and get it up. Where's that come from?
Hey. We would put the we would put the no, we wouldn't do that, man.
Put that on the Allianz Stadium.
We would put that on the stadium. Oh my God, where did you take that, man? Oh my God, take that off, man. How much is charging for that? They'll do it. Come on, man.
I've got no idea.
We'd pay them not to do it. £1 million of it. Come on, man. Anyways, people in the chat having a go. Nah, come on. All right. Thank you to Mighty Mag, and it's gone to Sophie as well. So congrats, Sophie, and thank you to Mighty Mag. Appreciate you, mate. Goodness gracious. Anyway, yeah, go on, mate.
I think that should be sent to war flags.
We'll put a flag. Come on, man.
We are knackered.
Oh my God.
We are knackered.
You could have that as a tagline underneath.
Absolutely.
Come on, man.
It would confuse the opposition, if nothing else.
Who's the new forward?
Man. Thank you, Joppa Downey, for a membership, my friend. It's going to Joe Linton. J7 got a membership. Appreciate that, Joppa. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Joe.
Oh my God, man, we are knackered. All right.
What I'm saying is, for to think about spending anywhere near that talking about, for to upgrade the existing stadium by whatever 10,000 seats, maybe 10,000 seats. It just
No. Hey man, we're supposed to have a serious show, man. What's going on here? Happy Clapper, happy Clapper. Oh man, war flags, man. That was gonna be Tim and Peter's flag, if they
I
got
wish.
accepted, but it didn't happen. So anyway.
I wish it was.
Oh boy. Anyways, go on, mate.
so it makes no sense at all. You can build a brand new stadium, state of the art, for £1 billion, not just to get an extra 10,000 seats.
But but if that's the case,
And
though,
also the other thing is you touched on it earlier in terms of corporate revenue. If you could add 10, 12,000 seats, none of those would be corporate. And they want corporate.
corporate
Quite
explain to
rightly.
corporate explain to the people. Corporate is in
That's where your
friends
money
of
comes from.
friends of friends, or who do the corporate tickets getting, or is it like businessmen, or is it
Yeah,
what?
obviously
So
businessmen. And so if you were going to expand it, instead of getting 12,000 extra bums on seats, what you would get is probably, I don't know, 8,000 bums on seats, and then the space that those other seats would take would go into boxes and corporate facilities behind the scenes, etc., etc., etc. I think it's got to be a new build. Now, where that new build is in the lap of the gods. That's up to see. If the city come to
so
their senses and say, right, you can have a balustrade and a bandstand,
the city and Tim and Peter.
and Chairman Peter, there's no
But
reason. And the absolute best solution I've heard is to build a temporary flat pack stadium as per the Qatar World Cup with a shipping
we saw
container
that
and
on there.
everything.
Well, no, we didn't say that. I mean, they were these people that are now have been looking at this thing.
No, what
According to
I'm
the,
saying is to
I
build
know,
that on the town moor
yeah, the temporary one, yeah.
temporarily, whilst you completely level the current St James's footprint back to basics. You could even doing that. You could even go down a bit at one end of the ground, away from the metro, which would give you, and have a lower pitch, which you can build up again. All those things could be looked into, and you could get probably a 70,000 seater right on the footprint we've got now, without touching. Well, they would have to take the light away from Leazes Terrace, but so be it.
All right, we do have a few questions here. One of them from Nathan. Good questions. Two good questions. But where Qatar is linked to this new article is that these people, I think, were in charge of building the Ahmed bin Ali Stadium in Qatar, if I'm not mistaken. So it's a big stadium, round. So
That's where we played Wales, isn't it?
Is that right? Yeah.
I think we played Wales in 22 there in the World Cup.
That was in the article.
So there you go. And what do you think? Questions here from Nathan. How long do these stadiums take nowadays? 5, 10, 7 years? That's a long time.
No, I know. No.
I think Real Madrid took
But
2
build
years.
it in China, it'll be up in a fortnight.
Oh man, exactly. Yeah. Good question by Boki. What happens to St. James's Park if we move? Would we knocked down? I think that is my biggest concern. That is my biggest concern. I personally have an issue with letting go of things. I just it's hard because it's hard to just in the discussion was tear it down and give it back to the city. I think PIF needs to do everything in their power to not do that. Just keep it and give the city money. The monkey dances with money, man. That's simple as that. I turned it. I mean, yeah. What would you do with it? You got to do something with it, right?
Yeah, well, I think if you're going to take Leazes Park ground, I think the idea is it's whatever you take in footprint, you have to give back with 10% extra. And I think the only way you would get Leazes Park is if you took the St James's Park and gave them that back as Parkland. I don't think there'd be any way round that, Chris. If I'm honest, and I don't
I
think
mean,
Well,
all the
they,
money in the
if they take money,
the parkland you can give back doesn't have to be in the same place as it was. That's the thing.
no, but I think that will be part of the discussion. Win. I cannot see, or I cannot understand why any business would want two big stadiums side by side,
No.
because they would never fill both. You know, even if you put the
no,
girls
but
in there.
yeah, no, I'm not saying use it as a football thing, but
Yeah,
you
mate,
guys don't.
I know what you mean.
It doesn't hurt you a little bit to knock stuff down like
Oh,
that, man.
totally.
Fuck
Like,
me, man.
Well, that's
with
why
you, like-
loads of people don't want to move, Chris.
Well, but that's why I wouldn't want to. Like, damn, it's
I just want
Like,
whatever's best for us to have the best team on the pitch. That's all I
go,
want.
go on, Tim.
Oh, I get
that's-
that. I get that.
Yeah,
Aye.
like just quickly, like what you said to me about like extending it round. I agree. It would look quality, it would really imposing. Had the Gallowgate End to match with the Leazes and the Melbourne, and then you keep that history as well. You keep that sentiment, the tradition. But I guess the problem really is that at the end of the day, like money talks, and it would be amazing if you had like PIF, a consortium, business sort of experts in the business world like they are, to sit down, look at the numbers and go, do you know what? The numbers say financially we get more from it moving stadium, but we're not going to do that. Like, it would be amazing, really, I think, if they turned around and said that in the face of that fact, really. It seems like that way, doesn't it? That financially, anyway, it would make more sense to move. And that's really, I think, what it comes down to, which in a way is a shame, I think. It's a shame because, like you say, I would be sad, to see it go.
They're going to say, welcome to La La Land. If you think a business operation the size of PIF is going to say, well, we know for a fact that moving's the best option. But
okay then. Well, I
because
mean,
we looked in James's Park, we're not going to do it. I think that's fun.
well, okay, but hold on, the big man. So you're tough. You're big and bad. You're Billy Badass. So why haven't they done it then? If PIF does what they want, why haven't they done it? Why haven't they just said we're going to build a new stadium wherever we want, and you numpties are going to go wherever we say you're going to go? Plain and simple.
Because the best solution is to stay more or less where they are.
No, exactly. So, but
And
why didn't
all of the quotes from the club so far have said we won't be moving far.
Well, right. So no, I agree that, but why haven't they announced it already? Why is the finding around? Why do they keep entertaining? According to you, if that's the case, if that's so easy, why are they keeping leaking information?
Like,
That's what this is.
Maybe it's
I'm not saying it's easy.
Maybe they are actually already set on moving, but they don't want to announce it yet, and they want to kind of give the impression that they're still thinking about it to try.
That they're worrying about people's feelings.
Maybe that's it.
Yeah, that's right. That could be. That could be. That very much could be. Gary, this is your idea. What is this? That looks like a beluga, man.
Yeah, exactly. So if you look at this, I'll bring it up a bit so you can see it more. Now, this is Selfridges. And as you can see, this is what they class as the bubble wrap illusion. So this isn't a stadium or a football stadium. This is what they class formally as, for me, when it first went up, it was a little bit of an eyesore. I couldn't quite understand what the architect was trying to achieve with it. But when you visit Birmingham, which I do, I visit Newcastle more than I do Birmingham. I wouldn't know my way around Birmingham, to be honest. When you do go into Birmingham, when you look at it, it does stand out from the rest of the buildings.
It stands out
around
right.
you. You know what I mean?
There's an off stand. It's right next to New Street Station.
That is like
the old bull ring, and I think it's a monstrosity, really.
It looks like a beluga, man.
But I don't think the shape of it helps it win. That's what I'm saying. I think it would look a lot better if it was like the Allianz Stadium, when it's a round building or an oval building. I think the shape of this thing, I think it seems to me as if it wants to be one of those futuristic type moving object like a large ship, like a land ship on Mad Max or something stupid. That's what it feels like to me. But I can understand what they would try and achieve by putting this, like I say, on a circular building or an oval building. I think you will get, or you would get, more of the Allianz type feature from that.
Well, I think Sophie says if they try to build that, there will be there will be ruptures in the
Eruptions.
tune.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so I don't think that's yeah. We're just showing, what.
Yeah,
what that is, but
that's what they class as bubble wrap. But again, it could be anything. I mean, we've got
it could
no
be anything.
pictures of what they describe as bubble wrap.
It's interesting. I do agree that maybe that's what they're doing, Peter. Just taking their time, not to hurt people's feelings. And
Yeah, I
that's
just
fair
think, Chris, as
fair
well,
play,
like,
to be honest. That's normal.
yeah, like, and I'm not saying personally that we shouldn't. I'm not saying we shouldn't move. I said before, I think when you weigh it all up economically, then it makes sense. All I'm saying as well is on your point about knocking the St James's down.
That's
Like,
my issue.
it would hurt. Yeah, like getting bulldozers in to knock all that history down. Again, I'm not naive enough to say we shouldn't do that because we need to stay there and
Why
it should
couldn't
just
we
sit there
turn
and
it
go on
into a
forever.
hotel
It
or
would be
something?
hurt.
Why couldn't we turn it into a hotel or
It's
something?
like Gary said. It's the issue with giving green land back. That's
Well,
the
that
most
could
obvious.
be, but we all know how this world works, man. This world here works on one on one
Oh, you cynic.
on one foundation. Now, whether you believe in the heavens above or anything else that you believe in, that is the afterlife. Some people believe there's no afterlife. That's it. Mighty wind, done, done and dusted in the ground. However, this world here works on one thing and one thing only. And I'm saying, if we wanted to keep, if we have the money, PIF has how much money?
Billions.
All right, so
890 billion or something.
money's
stupid.
not the problem. Money's not the problem. If Mighty Win becomes their accountant, trust me, they'll be knackered by the end of this year. But as far as we know, he's not. So why not try to persuade with money to kind of keep St. James? But now, look, some people say, yeah, it obstructs the new stadium. It is. I get all that, but to just say tear it down, just like that, I mean, it hurts, man. It's not it's not easy, man. I mean, it's just thinking about it. It's. I mean, you can make it into a hotel, make it into a museum. You can do a lot of things to generate revenue, which is what we're crying about every.
And this is another reason why I think out of town is odds on favourite, because out of town they can build a fan park where like a giant stack outside the ground. They know now how much money fans can generate in the stack.
But that'd be crap for the town, wouldn't it?
That would be
You
absolutely
know what I mean?
crap
Like,
for the
all
town,
these businesses
which is
keep on.
why I believe
For-
that they could more or less go with an open book and say, "This is what we're going to
And
do.
that's why,
Are you
exactly.
going to let us do it? Because if you don't, we're out
Here's the
of here."
thing. It's pretty simple for Newcastle United. For Newcastle United, they'll make money wherever they go. It ain't a big deal. Fans will go. For Newcastle's the city, they don't. To me, they don't have much to negotiate with. They don't.
I agree.
And so I think they need to just start getting the lawnmowers out and tearing down some grass, because you got to put it right there where it's it. Now Mason said, maybe in a joking manner, talking about, well, what about the wildlife at Leazes Park? Come on, man, wildlife at Leazes Park. What do you got there? Squirrels? Not even have a squirrel, man. What do we have there, Mighty One? We didn't.
There'll be a
I tell you what.
what's
Oh,
the
they got
newt-
dogs. They got little ducks.
What's the newt there's the mighty winner who's always pisses in newt, but there'll be the flared newt or the crested newt. Or
Well,
something.
any newt, you wouldn't be able
Yeah.
to build anywhere near the place.
Ain't it? But we did say a species out there. It asked the Mighty Win for a cigarette when we were walking down Leazes Park. Remember Mighty Win? Yeah, I don't know what species he was, but he was on another. He's from another planet. Certainly.
But we laugh and joke about this, but I'm sure if they do decide to go onto the Leazes, I know you guys. I know you're into your horses and your hoofing, Chris. I
Watch
like
it, not
to.
paying for it.
Yeah, well, yeah. I'm not saying anything else, but I like watching guys who fish, and I watch a few guys that carp. And there's a lad who built a pool or a pond, whatever you want to call it, in the back of his own garden, and it cost him 30 odd £1,000 to do, just in legalities, because the amount of people that he had to have on his land and surrounding areas to check for the likes of what Wynne just said, newts, owls, bats, things like that. Because if any of the conservationists, it doesn't matter how much money you've got in the pocket, they say no, it's no.
I don't know about that. I don't
Say
know.
Oh,
no,
well, that's
till-
that.
till-
Trust
I
me,
mean,
that
you know,
happens.
till
that's
you
the
go to
general rule, but
till you go to the planning appeal.
No,
I mean, they
like I
got
say,
they got some rats.
he had no effect whatsoever on him when he was told he couldn't build.
I don't think he's probably got as much money as PIA.
Well,
Well, I mean,
like I said, well, okay, look at Shepherd then when he got told no from Leazes Park, even though he had everything set up, and it wasn't a pot. It was only the conservationists that said no to him, and he couldn't have it done, and he had all the money in the world back then. When
Well, he didn't.
well,
Not compared.
he had a
Not
few million quid, did he?
compared to what we've got now.
Yeah,
well,
but
it's got to be
what I'm
He had,
saying now
he,
influential. It's
is
got to be
had
influential.
compared to the
a
two.
billion, man. Shepherd was just a.
No, I said he had a few million pounds, and back in them days, was it 97?
What
That was worth a few quid now, mate.
Oh,
It's
What-
John
what-
Hall as well, wasn't it?
What about
Yeah,
Sergio?
I
Yeah,
know.
Sergio Hall had a lot of money. Still has a lot of money, to be fair. Let's go with some comments here. John Boy, good luck to me. Oh yeah, by the way, Miggy gone. Miggy's gone. Great reception, by the way, from Atlanta United.
That was a great advert as well. They put
Great
out for him.
adverts. I mean, we need to do some of that, but we ain't got no players. If we did that, for Osula, I would, it would have taken the opposite, reaction from fans. To be fair, but poor Osula doesn't get any playtime now. But we need to get somebody in, man. We don't. And somebody was actually commenting in one of these posts and say, fitted enough, we're talking about stadium when we should be signing people. Well, that could be the agenda being pushed out there. Just put one more post out there, man. You'll get fans talking about this for a couple of days until the window's over.
divert the attention.
All right, there you go. JJ, keep the bubble wrap for Parcel. Parcel, we need a closing roof. Closing roof was the talk of the Toon in a minute, but then it went down to the bubble wrap. So there we go.
I mean, it's going to be more like the Allianz one. I mean, I was only putting that as an example. That was classed as the first bubble wrap building in England, and like I say, didn't go down very well, if I'm honest.
Ed Davey says the rebuild at 60K, not really. If you could also do the East End, okay, but it looks like just the Gallowgate.
Yep.
Just the Gallowgate got to say a no from me. 70K, a new stadium, just about right. 75K. So there we go. Kevin Meyer says, "Are you Kevin from Arkansas? Let me know in the chat, man." We are now. Oh no, that's Mark Myers, I think. We are now in 2025. We need and are getting a new state of the art training and stadium. We're going to talk about the training ground in a minute. Japadoni, Leazes is a dump these days. We could build a great stadium there on Richardson Road whilst we still play at St. James's Park. Then you tear down St. James's Park and make it a park with parking. Just makes sense.
Yeah.
There we go. Ian, the Allianz Arena looks fantastic. Adrian Pickett says it's about architectural best practice. The cantilever
Roof.
That's the Leazes in the Melbourne.
That was when we managed to stop getting pillars in front of us.
Yeah, the post in front of you.
All right.
To hold the roof up.
Kevin Myers from North Shields. Never mind. I thought you were from Arkansas. I thought you were a country boy.
North
man.
Shields, Arkansas.
Right. Stephen Harker, I'm all for it. How long for a trip off this rock? What? Let me see. One more comment here. Predator. It's not like they are going to make a carbon copy of another team's stadium. Ours will be unique to us in our club. Agree.
But
But when you say
the beauty again about moving out of town to a brand new site is that you can build hotels, you can build the training ground, training complex could be there as well.
yeah, but
You can have a conference center. Get it near the airport. Great transport links.
Out of town, you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, he wants.
But
Why would you advocate for that,
why would
Wayne?
you want that? The whole a lot of the match day experience is in town, and that's part of what makes it great.
Say-
But
exactly.
That'd be soulless as hell.
Box similar to what they've got the boxing at Wembley, you know, on Wembley Way.
By the way, Tiger Studio said that you
I'm
can't
not
build a
saying
stadium
that's
bigger
what I
than
want.
Wembley.
That's not what I want. I want to stay in town.
Yeah, but
All right.
But if for us to stay in town, the council and the conservationists,
but you said they would do it.
conservationists, and they've got to come to terms that they either let we do what we want to do, or we're moving. It's up to them. Which do
They can
they
maybe play that
think
card
is more
in the poker
important?
face.
The commercial health of the city centre, or 200 people who live in Leazes Terrace? It's dead simple. Because that, again, if you can do away with Leazes Terrace, that means immediately you can get the capacity you want simply by raising the east stand. Dead simple.
Yeah, I get that, and I think if they want to play that card with a poker face, then fine. But even if the council were digging the heels in, I'd still be miffed if we said, "Okay, we're off and we're out of town." Like, I'd still be miffed at that, even if the council were not playing ball.
But what would you do then? You can't.
I know what you're saying, Win. I know where you're coming from, but well, I don't know, maybe extend, but out of town. I'm sorry, but
Okay, so there you go. So that's what
I think it's
I mean, out of time. See, he wants to be a Gosford. That's the problem. He just wants to walk to the stadium. But no, you know, that's he just wants everything to be a Gosford. And that ain't gonna happen, man. You know, I don't think. I think it's got to be where the Leazes, but that's the only possibility to me, in my eyes. Moving away. Now, listen,
I
they're
cannot
not.
see a single way in which PIF are going to spend whatever £1 billion to get 12,000 extra seats.
I think that's what it comes down
It's
to,
not
yeah,
even 12,
because it's the landscape of football these days as well. It's changed, and
Exactly.
it's the issues that you
but
read
see-
about PSR, other clubs' capacities, and it's something that
we talk about you know, Newcastle United is not like other clubs. That's where we you know, make a mistake when we look at other clubs and other new stadiums. You know, Man City lost atmosphere. I don't know why. I don't think it has to do with the big stadium. I don't even think it has to do with fans just all of a sudden not being fans and not singing. Something happened there, you know. Don't know why, but Newcastle fan is not the same. You know, it's not the same. You know, we're going to go wherever they put the stadium. That's the bottom line.
if the club worked with the fans, then yeah, I agree. You could build a new stadium with black and white wall, one end bouncing, all on the same level, so the noise stays within the stadium with the roof. Don't get us wrong. I can see how appealing it could be. I can see why some fans want to move, because with all the money PIF have got as well, potentially it could be immense. So yeah, it's that sentiment thing, obviously, like you said before about St James's.
By the way,
But I can see both sides totally.
as far as we know now, the new city council is a season ticket holder. She said that you know, that she desires the new stadium to be the Newcastle stay in the city center. So I mean, that's a positive thing. I mean, look, I don't think the city has anything to negotiate with. To be honest with you, they're going to lose a lot of money. They're going to, you know, not a lot of people are going to be happy. Businesses are going to go broke, man. In that part of town, I mean, yeah, you can tell people would still be getting drunk every weekend, but not on match days. I mean, you know, not on match days.
It would kill this.
It would kill it. It would damn near kill it,
definitely
man.
kill it.
You know,
You know-
there's so many businesses that absolutely rely on match day revenue.
Yeah. Now, do you think though, because this has been going on forever, right?
Davey Eddy there is saying there's a lady called Dolly Potter who leads the Leazes Park Conservation Group. She's a season ticket holder who said last year NUFC would get the go ahead for a new stadium on Leazes Park. Now, Eddie from Tyneside Life reckons to
Your
have
best
had
friend.
long
Well, he
conversations.
interviewed her, didn't he?
Yeah, long conversations, and said the exact opposite. So I don't know where Davy Eddie's getting that information from.
What is she
Well,
saying?
but you have is you like Tyneside Life, Eddie? Is your friend?
Well, I wanted him to come on and have a good,
He didn't want.
because
He didn't.
I
He didn't
wanted to
want.
have
So they
because he is all for not touching Leazes Park at all,
and he
or
wants
Leazes
yeah,
Terrace, and I
exactly.
wanted to ask him
He
which
didn't want.
was more important to Newcastle City:
He didn't want the smoke,
one
man.
building, a balustrade, and a bandstand, or Newcastle United.
He
Which
doesn't.
is the most important? And by the way, the one has only preceded the other by
Uh,
about 40 years out of the 200 or so that
but
we've
no,
been around.
here's the simple thing, man. If you get a businessman from New York City, just go snatch him up. Say, let's go on a trip to England real quick. I need your assessment. You put him in to assess Newcastle for a week, and say, what is best for Newcastle, for the city? What is it? What's best for it? You're not even a soccer fan. You're a baseball fan. You're whatever. What's best for Newcastle to bring in money? He's gonna tell you the stadium needs to stay there because it's just 1 + 1 2, man. It's not really. So if the city council is worried about the city, which is that's what they're there to do, they don't have much to negotiate. They know that Newcastle United
That's
is
my point exactly.
is their cow to milk. You know what I mean? But my question was going to be to you guys. Um, they built a stack there. Good investment brings in a lot of money. Surely, I don't know what it would have cost to build that. To be honest, it's actually built out of what it's fairly cheap.
Yeah,
But
pennies.
do you think that they would have done that knowing that they would have to move somewhere else? I mean, you can say, yeah, well, they don't care about the money; they'll just tear it down and put it somewhere else. But looking at it feasibly, I mean, do you think because
No, I
that
mean,
leads?
you're talking, Chris, you're talking literally coppers for to build the stack. I
Ah.
mean, it's nothing.
I agree. I think they would have done that. I think they've done that because they know they were going to be staying at St James's Park for the foreseeable when they took over. They weren't going to be making any rash announcement about a new stadium because fans ultimately at that time would have kicked off. You fast forward 4 or 5 years later, and when fans are tapping the watch saying what's happening, what an update, or we're staying or we're going or what, fans are more accepting at that point, I think, of moving. They know this. So I think that's why they built the stack. They knew we were going to be here for a while before the potential
You're right.
move.
I mean, fans follow success, don't they? And you've only got to look at all of the top 6 clubs that have won lots of trophies in the past.
Wait.
I've got friends that have been Man United fans, Liverpool fans, never been to the ground. You know what I mean? And it makes me wonder why they are supporters of such club. It's because they follow success, and other fans are exactly the same. So, like I said, on match days, you can't get into the stack unless you've, got a ticket type of thing.
Well,
And I
somebody
think
said you
that
don't
is
need
the
a
success.
ticket, so I don't know. I
Well,
don't know
yeah,
how that
but
works.
that
You don't need to take, you've got to be there 11 o'clock
yeah,
in the
you've got to
morning.
be at the front of the door type of
Yeah,
thing.
exactly.
I know I haven't had one since, but I had a message from whoever it was saying if I want to go to the stack, I must be, I must ask for a ticket of some description. But I never did. I've never really gone in there
But
on match days.
yeah, well, yeah, you're right. You're right. By the way, Ian says that Dolly Potter died 20 years ago. I don't know if he's taking a piss or what, but if that's the case, then we're not. Who are we talking to, Mighty Win? What are the resources?
We are knackered.
Dean asking, are Tim and Peter twins? No, man.
I don't
What
know how
made
he
you
is.
say that?
It's weird. Like
Uh,
we've just came on and we were
yeah,
saying
exactly.
like, oh, he looks similar. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's weird, isn't it? But
No, it is what it is.
One
There's
is
just
a
a mirror
Mac.
separating them.
The one is a Macum. The other is a Magpie. We won't tell you which one.
Markham,
blasphemy.
I'm just joking.
not me.
Waldo, Chris only came over because the grounds in the city center. Exactly, baby. But no, you're right though. Well, I mean, it could have been in Mars. I still would have went. I went because I wanted to be at St. James's Park because this is a possibility. That it could be gone, and I don't want that. I don't want that. I think it has a lot of history. You can still, in my opinion, make use for it to where it affects us financially in a positive way. I don't think PSR. We're hoping PSR is going to disappear, but who's got the proof that that's going to happen? I mean, you can say Arsenal, Man United are being, affected by it. So maybe rules will change now. But
Yeah. I
I
wonder
don't
whether the
know.
government of Newcastle will throw some money in like they are at Manchester.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a-
Jason Brown, a warning from history: never sell your soul for money. Stay at St. James's Park, says Jason Brown. Um, it's a big topic of discussion. Now there was a question by Nathan, I believe, where else can we expand other than maybe just I think the Gallowgate End he asked, or maybe
yeah,
where else
that's
can
all.
we spend?
That's it.
Because
There's,
last time around though there was a report that they would have to tear down the Milburn stand or the Milburn stand parking lot, basically the car parking lot.
Yeah.
To yeah, but that is
I
just
think what is
imagine grabbing the
But then
stadium and pushing
all
it.
you can do is go higher.
they want to renovate the. I think from what I've read in the vibes that you get from the reports coming out is that not only would they extend the Gallowgate, but they would also change up
Oh,
the Leazes and maybe the Melbourne. I don't know
yeah,
which
we
how
read
much,
that before
but
exactly. This is the
yeah.
question though: can we dig down any farther, or is that at limits too? Well, I don't know how far. I mean, there's a metro down there.
Hmm.
I don't know about that. I don't know. Obviously, you can't get rid of the metro. That's that's that. So the other sides, I don't know.
It would be interesting to see what Freddie Shepherd had planned. I know it's probably it was a while ago, so maybe it's outdated now, probably. But it would have just. I'm curious to see what the plans looked like when he wanted to extend the Gallowgate before
Mm.
Ashley came in and bought the club, because there was definitely plans at that time. I'm sure he made an
No, well,
announcement saying,
it's been extended since then.
since I'm gonna say, yeah.
No, but no, but he did it.
oh,
He made a plan to extend the Gallagher End in 2007 before he was
yeah,
bought out
he wanted to
in
put it over
Randstad
the road,
with
and
a
then Ashley
casino
came
behind.
along.
Listen, you're never going to please everybody. I mean, I remember when the East Stand was being built, and there was people that stood on that part of the ground was moaning that if they want to stay there, they've got to sit down.
Mighty well.
They didn't want to sit down; they
Is
wanted to
that
stand.
is
So
that
you're
in
never
the
going to please
right?
everybody. So,
That's
like I
weird.
said, you've either got to go in, you've got to go with your heart, or you've got to go with your head. And like I said, as fans, do you want to compete constantly with the top six, or do you want to stay as we are?
I agree with it. I
Because
agree with it
that's
in
the
that sense.
difference.
I agree with everything other than just tearing down St. James's Park. That to me needs to be a little more thought to that. Kevin Meyer says a bubble wrap will bring in millions in advertising, and says it all money, money, money. Well, it's not about selling your soul for money. By the way, is the Jason Brown was saying. It's just the way it works, bro. You got to make money.
We've
It's a
got to have the
business.
revenue.
You got to have the revenue, and
Aye.
so
I mean, let's put it this way and slightly go away from the home ground. And I want to ask the guys while they're in the panel, if we were throwing £200 million in a training ground, a training complex, wherever it lands, the two places that have been mentioned, does that not show what PIF are made of to actually throw that type of money in there? And if that's the case, do you think PIF will also just sit back on the laurels and say, you know what, I'm going to give in to what the fans want and just stay and build the Gallowgate? I think if they're willing to throw £200 million into a training facility, state of the art training facility, and I think that also includes, if I'm right, what I've heard, that's also going to include a stadium for the girls as well to play on. So it's going to be a complete setup like they have done in other places, like Man City have, and I believe Liverpool have got something similar. And I think, for me, the way it looks like now is PIF are coming in big time, and I think they want to throw all the money in. And if they want to recoup that back, well, not them per se, but the club recoup any rewards back. The only answer is going to be to relocate. Now,
Yeah.
whether that's on Leazes Park or whether that's out of the city, I don't think there is any chance that they can develop St James's Park any further and bring any more money in.
I agree.
good
That's why I
question
said
here.
earlier. Yeah, sorry, Chris. Just
Yeah, go
like
ahead,
I
finish.
said about the money men. They're going to sit down, look at the figures financially, and I just can't see them looking at that and thinking, yeah, we'll stay because of sentiment. But it
Hmm.
just seems inevitable, isn't it?
They
It,
were
it
asking
does.
plans for the Gallowgate. Andrew Turnbull, who's connected with an architectural company, I believe.
That's what
I
it
can
says.
tell you plans for the Gallowgate. The piling under the metro station with a new rail box was going to cost 210 million at the time,
Yeah.
and
Um,
that's without anything above ground. That was just the foundations.
there's a question there from Turn for me. What did Chris think of St. James's Park? Did you think it was on par with U.S. stadiums or a bit dated? The honest answer is it is outdated. It's not at the par with U.S. stadiums, but I mean, that is really give or take. Because I mean, it's a these stadiums are not as old. They don't have as much history that people like me care about. Um, when you're inside sitting in your seat, you're watching the game. There's nothing. It's just amazing. The pitch in itself, it's unbelievable. It's well taken care of. Obviously, the infrastructure, um, the seats are. I mean, you could probably, but those are not really that much different from American. The seats in itself, there's no cushion seats in America, none of that stuff. I don't know for rich people maybe, but not in big stadiums. The main part here is that stadiums here, clubs here make so much money because you got multiple restaurants open to the public that you can walk by. I don't know, Mighty Win, where you went to get that burger. Really good burger, by the way, but it's got to be how many places of those? How many of those you got in that stadium? Yeah,
How
St. James's.
many burger
Yeah,
kiosks?
Crikey.
yeah.
There's two for the whole of the East Stand.
Well, okay. So, but but what I'm trying to say is multiple restaurants is what you see in United
Oh
States
yeah,
stadium.
that
You
just
know, uh,
completely different.
you also have a store like a team store inside when you going around finding your door, whatever. You see a team store there. You can still buy stuff. Maybe there's something missing there. Wi-Fi, of course, but all of that you can do to the current St. James's Park. So if that's the issue, so I think the biggest question is about people, and the people. The more people in there, the more money you're gonna get in, and I don't know though what they would do, because people like to think that they're gonna give away season tickets. Are they? Are they just gonna put it to standing, or not standing fans? But you get the point. Like you buy them on a weekly basis, or corporate, as the mighty wind says. What are they going to do with that extra? And by the way, the demand is so high from Newcastle United fans that nothing is going to be enough. To be honest.
Yeah,
But
but
Chris, on
I
that
mean, the
point,
lads have already said it because when they spoke to Simon Kappa and they were talking about, the boxes coming back, and Wynne mentioned it before. If we put boxes on the East End, then you're going to lose seats anyway. You're losing bums on seat supporters that have been supporting the club even through all the dark times. So I think that they have to be very careful how they do this, especially if they're willing to stay where they are and throw corporate boxes in.
Now let me. Sorry, Tim. Go. You had something for me.
well,
Sorry.
just to reiterate what I was saying before, that's where I was coming from. In that the club have a choice to make, and they can make the choice to have a corporate layout in certain parts of a new stadium that then allows reasonably priced tickets for working class fans. It's about that balance. We need to be on guard against a brand new stadium where every ticket is massively expensive or corporate. So that's where with Bayern Munich, again, I don't know the details, but what I've heard is that they kind of have a lot of corporate areas because it's such a big stadium. So if we are going to rebuild a new stadium, that's one of the benefits whereby make it big because you can have a lot of corporate, but then that allows you, as long as they make that decision, and we need to, I think, hold their feet to the fire on this, they make that decision to then allow reasonably priced tickets for working class fans in other areas of the ground. That's a potentially appealing option and aspect of a new stadium, but it's down to the decision of the club to make. They might not do that. We have to be on their case to do that.
I think that some people might be surprised. Beer Viking says more seats will keep the pricing down. I'm not 100% sure. I wouldn't hold my breath on that. I think that I will be honest. I'm looking at it from an American perspective. From actually, forget American. From my living situation, my current living situation, I think the season tickets right now are really cheap from my personal living situation. Um, but after obviously I talked to the Newcastle United fans, they think it's just about what they would pay for. If it was higher, they wouldn't pay for it. If it, so there is that discussion. Obviously, I think living in Newcastle is rather cheap. That means that people don't spend that much money. So it's a different it's a difficult I think to because things are moving into a direction that I don't know the fans in Newcastle are unfortunately, I don't know that they can keep up with it. And that is the main question. Mighty Wind's got all the money in the world, but everybody else don't. You know what I'm saying? So John here says, I am hugely disappointed offer this evening with both stadiums by PIF. Not ambitious enough to compete against Madrid. Jordy, not impressed. Sorry. Real Madrid, if you want to try to emulate that, I mean, yeah, I guess you can because you got all the money in the
Well,
world.
you got to. It'll take 20 years for starters, just in terms of trophies.
In
You would
terms of
need to win.
heritage, however, their stadium, how big is Real Madrid's El Bernabeu? Capacity, I think. I
100,
think
it,
it's 78
oh, is it
according to
just
this.
78?
I think they
Uh,
extended it so that
they extended 80,000. So I think they might. I thought it was
Well,
over
they've just
100, but
rebuilt it, haven't they?
yeah, but I thought there was 100. But right now, 2025, it says 80,000 spectators can come in, 240 VIP boxes. One question that I was going to ask though, because just you never know, really. Um, I you gotta understand like the availability. If you say it's an 80,000 sitter, is that available to these fans aside from the corporates or the official the rest of the in the know people that get to come to the stadium and hang out because that also changes things, or is it going to be just 80,000, everybody in the stadium is 80,000 and then therefore it's going to be less tickets for fans? So all of that comes into the question, man, that obviously we have no clue about, but um
There's one thing I can assure you. However many extra seats are provided, they'll all be season tickets. There's no way any sensible business wants to rely on team performance to 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 determine how many people are going to go at the match.
Every
yeah.
seat.
Yeah. However,
Almost
though,
every
when
seat, I would think.
Mm.
you
I mean, I forget what the
not Jordy.
current government legislation is, that there has to be. I think in Newcastle there has to be 3,000 available on a match by match basis.
Yeah.
I think it's a percent. Let's just have a check on that.
Do you think I got a crazy idea backed up by Jason Brown a bit? A crazy idea, but just I've always been told I'm wrong. That's fine. Um, say the current St. James's Park be turned into a huge fan zone that people can even go watch the game and pay tickets to get in? Small, not like match tickets, obviously, but you don't think it would get filled up? I don't know, man. I just don't want St. James's Park tear down, man. That's all I'm saying.
you know what you could do, right? You could have it where people pay to play there, like they do anyway sometimes, or they used to. Like it's a museum type building,
That too,
and
yeah.
then you could have people paying to play on that pitch. That's one thing. You could do other things as well. I mean, I think it's unlikely anyway. To be honest, they would actually keep it in its current guise if they moved to a new
Yeah.
stadium. But yeah,
Well, I mean, they could make it into a fan zone.
A huge fan
I
zone.
mean, they could use.
Look at what they make money out of the stack.
One
You know?
stand, if you like, as a zone, and put I say demolish the rest. I hate saying that, but that's probably what it sounds like. But you could have a screen there for the fans that can't get tickets to watch.
So we got a few people disagreeing with what Win just said. They're talking rubbish. Win says Nathan. There's already insane demand.
Everybody says that.
Yeah. Well, so what are you saying though? Like, you just make a season ticket. That's the problem though. Win, you feel like fans in Newcastle, Geordies, that follow one damn team in their entire life, and then also you got international fans that are getting added to the mix. Fans are all over the country as well in England. Why do you feel like fans just will say, we're losing, I'm staying home, or we're losing, I'm not going to follow the team. Because that's basically what you're saying. That you got to keep winning, and therefore,
So
you know,
why were we not getting 50? And I'm talking pre-Ashley.
you no no
Pre-Ashley.
no
Why
pre-Ashley no pre-Ashley
pre-Ashley?
pre-Ashley. You're telling the
I
pre-Ashley.
was going to first division matches at the Toon with 16,000 people there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I went to a Wrexham. There was 9,000 people there.
You're telling me that pre-Ashley because Ashley will depress anybody. I don't think a club in England, Birmingham fans might say different, that has been through what Ashley has
We're
done
only
for a
getting
team.
record sellouts in the
I'm telling you this. I don't think there's a club in.
the late 70s. Well,
Hold
the
on.
mid to late 70s, 74 to 78, and then post entertainers.
Right now, the demand is unbelievable, man.
Right now, it
The
is.
stadium against Cambridge when Eddie Howe first came in, Newcastle were like bottom of the
Yeah,
league.
yeah.
Cambridge
Yeah.
in the FA Cup, full house.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
You know?
that was because we had the takeover. Everybody was euphoric.
Everybody was on a high.
We
weren't
had this conversation before, and you lose every time.
Yeah.
Look at the ballot, man.
I don't lose
The-
every time.
yeah, you do.
I've been in the
Okay.
stadium half full.
I respect that you've been there. You have been, obviously. You're 20 times older than me, so you've been there. Perfect. You got that in your favor. But what I do know is there's close to 40,000 people on a ballot trying to get a ticket every week. Every week.
Correct.
So where do those people go to? I just saw somebody complaining on X because they can't get a ticket once. They missed the ballot once and couldn't get a single ticket. One. At
The thing
all.
is, right, I agree that it might fluctuate depending on that's natural
Yeah.
and the form of the team. That's
Yeah.
for any club. I think it will fluctuate. Obviously, to what degree, we can argue all
With the
night about
simple,
that. But just quickly, Win, I think I would guess anyway, if you'd ask me about PIF, wouldn't their mindset not be of where we are going to win and we're going to make sure we're going to win by, having the infrastructure in place with the right management team and the right signings coming to the club, and if it's not work and if we're not winning, then they would be confident in themselves to turn it around and make sure that we do win. Do you know what I mean? Would that not be their mindset rather than having some kind of like safe fail thing about if in
are
case
they the only club owners in the country with that mindset?
Yeah, but so that then you're in that now.
Every club owner
Yeah.
feels that way.
What
they-
that they can win?
well-
that they can win? No, they don't.
not
No,
necessarily.
they don't. Crystal Palace
Not
has no hopes
Yeah.
of winning anything. So stop lying. You know
I
what I
mean,
mean?
people wouldn't say that about a Spurs win if you ask Tottenham fans.
No.
Look at Tottenham. Tottenham haven't won a damn thing, and they milk of Arsenal's titty their whole entire life. You know what I mean? So why? I don't understand that. You know, I mean, you're
I
saying
just-
people.
as well,
First
morally,
of all,
you-
those
you've
facts
gotta-
are completely wrong.
What are wrong?
They don't drink off Arsenal's.
They
titty.
do. They drink off Arsenal's titty.
They-
They live off Arsenal, man. Tottenham live off Arsenal.
How
Stop
did they
that.
live off Arsenal?
If Tottenham were in the north and we were in the north of London, in North London, and they were in northeast, we would be in that situation all the time where media talking about us. Where we would be all we would be what Tottenham are today, which people give them media attention all the time. That's what it would be. This Big Six conversation. It will be us instead of Tottenham.
No, the reason Tottenham are in the Big Six
Come
is
on,
because
man.
of the trophies they've won.
What
Historically.
trophies, man? A cup in 2008. And what the hell have they won then?
They've won nothing but 20 years, the same as we haven't. Well, we haven't won anything.
Oh, exactly. So what are you talking about? It's just because they're down there, and to me, if I was Tottenham and I already had a 50,000 stadium, I would think about it 20 times to build a bigger one because I'm in London, full of a million stadiums. Newcastle have no competition, none.
What are you talking about? Tottenham have built a new stadium and they're filling it every week.
Well, exactly. But I would feel
With
more
no
weary.
success.
But
What's
I
it
would.
got to do with Arsenal?
So why can't we build a big stadium and fill it up?
Well, I'm talking 60,000.
Yeah.
And by the way, the population of London, if you do the sums, divide the population by the number of clubs, we are still much smaller than Brentford or Fulham or whatever in terms of the catchment area.
So what's your number, Win? What's your number for a new stadium?
75 tops.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't disagree with that. So what's the problem?
Start off at 65, but
Like I said, I would even go 80.
Make it feasible to win.
Yeah.
That's fine. I'm good with that. I would even probably go 80 just to make it round it up.
Well,
nice.
then you're not going to have full stadiums.
Again, we're gonna disagree with that. We're gonna argue with that.
As much as you want. I'm telling you the fact.
What facts, man? I just told you a big fact. The amount of people that are trying to get in the game every week.
What's
on top of
what's the population of Tyne Weir?
A lot more than you reported last time around. A lot more. Because you said there's only like 200,000 people in there. Tiny.
That's Newcastle City.
And by the way, you dismiss everybody else that wants to come into all over England. There's Toon fans, man. You don't think they will make that travel? Look at D-Man, man. He makes a travel every 2 weeks. Yeah, but you're gonna say, okay, that's one person.
He wouldn't. No, D-Man wouldn't come every week.
I don't know. Population for Tyne Weir 1.1 million and 53,000.
Tyne Weir.
Yeah, Tyne Weir.
Newcastle.
But you said Tyne Weir. You asked me to say Tyne Weir.
Yeah, because I'm giving you Tyne Weir, but bear in mind that you've got 2 clubs in Tyne Weir.
Yeah, but come on, man. Stop it, man. Stop it, man.
One club in Tyne.
Hey, stop it, man. Stop it, man. There is not all of that.
Clue is in the name.
Look at Sunderland's. Look at you watch them every week. So you're a Malcolm fan. Look at their stands. Empty, man. Empty. And I'm talking about empty. Empty.
And I'm saying if we had been through what they've been through, our stadium would be as empty as theirs.
No, see that's
you've got a hardcore of about. They've probably got a hardcore of about 20,000. We've got a hardcore of about.
Thank you, Nick Thornton. For some reason, when people celebrate their memberships, it's not highlighted, so we had to. I just happened to look. Thank you, Nick Thornton, for celebrating your membership. 1 month of memberships. When you are passing on, you are passing opinion off as fact. Yeah, exactly. It's your opinion that people wouldn't go to the game. It's not a fact.
I think what rules it for me. Sorry, buddy, for putting in. What rules it for me? Being a fan, is the touts. I think it's the touts that are spoiling it for the average fan that want to come to most games because they seem, and like I said, I've paid through the teeth to come and watch the games, to get a seat, and that's what I'm saying. For me, it's a case of, I think all clubs, and it's not just Newcastle. I think all clubs have to try and put a limit on these touts that are getting season tickets and then selling the stub off to whoever.
Yeah. Newcastle fan, thank you for the super chat, man. Says if we can use stadium, I'd like to do what Tottenham and Real Madrid have done. Underneath, have an artificial and the roof can close. Yep, that would be great.
Not for me. Not for me.
Ooh, what the artificial roof?
I don't know why. Like it's an outdoor sport. It's like.
Come on, Tim.
Why would you want to close the roof? I don't. Okay, maybe it'll help the atmosphere and stuff. Maybe, but it just seems very artificial to me. Like
you would put a giant
for a roof.
You would put a giant 4-sided screen in there, giant, just to Come on, man. Americanize, baby. Let's Americanize.
You know what I mean? You've got to rein in like for you.
No, man. But look, it's
last census. 2021, Newcastle upon Tyne, population 300,200.
Thing is, right, I wouldn't deny that.
2021.
But let me tell you this.
300,000.
I don't know where you get that information from. I just literally Googled it.
From the government census website.
Okay, well, but I just Googled it. Pretty simple. I get 829,000. So, I don't know what's happening here. Newcastle upon Tyne, UK metro area population. 2024, 829,000. How did that difference? Don't show me your twat government thing that you just made up, man. That you just put that you just put .gov.
The Office of National Statistics,
Okay.
Census Population 2021.
By the way, Nathan agrees with Tim. I agree, Tim. The roof is handy.
People think
They have many
people think
many
Newcastle is
concepts.
much bigger than what it is,
Newcastle's huge, man.
but it's not.
But that's the problem. I had a conversation with Tim when we were in the pub. You know what a town is? A town is where I live in. That's a town. Newcastle, Geordies call their city a town when it isn't. It's a city.
It's a city.
You call it
Proudly-
town because yes,
proudly a city.
because it's a town because of the old ways. I'm sure, yeah, blah blah blah. But it's a big city with a lot of people, man. And Toon fans, all of them. I was even talking to the last that was in the counter for the hotel. She said, I'm not a Newcastle fan, but my lad is, so I would go with him if I could. Look at that win. Now maybe that's probably not the people you want that don't do nothing or don't know anything about the club. But at the end of the day, there was a question? Beer Viking
Population of Leeds, one city, one club, 822,000.
Leeds, man. Leeds.
3 times the size of Newcastle. Newcastle is Bournemouth,
Those teams that have no hope.
196,000.
Yeah, but those teams have zero hope of winning nothing, man. Other than the
Leeds
championship.
United.
You think Leeds United comes to the Premier League and win what? Come on, Wayne. You're living in the 80s, brother.
Leeds United are about the best.
I never said they're not a big club or have no history. I've said now
No.
they don't
What
come
I'm
up.
saying is
They don't
Leeds
come
United-
up and compete for the league.
Leeds United
We are
are-
competing for the league.
Leeds United were a better investment than Newcastle United.
And by the way, we are disagreeing on. We agree on the same number.
I'm
anyway. You
just
say
I'm just on pure numbers. Pure numbers.
no. But see, you say
The
75,000.
catchment area.
You say 75,000. I say 80. So we're really not disagreeing. We're about the same number of capacity.
Yeah, but all
The
these
problem
people
is
in the
you-
chat are saying 100,000 and all this rubbish, man.
The problem is you think that
I'm a realist.
the allocation should go only for season tickets.
What
whilst
I'm
other
saying
people-
is, from a business perspective, once you've sold your season ticket, you don't need to bother whether they come or not.
Well-
If you're relying on match day trade, you're relying on fair wins.
Well, how about we finish up with Tim and Peter's story about the stadium? It's a lovely
Yes,
story
let's do
to go with. And John, I agree. Newcastle fans come from all over the Northeast. Sorry, exactly. Not just Newcastle. Look, he has like people
That's
just
why
live in the city.
they've got a catchment. Newcastle
Yeah.
have got a
I mean,
catchment. We have 1.5 million.
Is,
But
is
similarly,
Ashington
Leeds haven't just got Leeds; they've got the whole of West Yorkshire.
is Ashington considered part of the
One and a
town
half
area?
million. Ashington's about 50,000, man, including all of the little pit villages that's around.
I'm saying there's areas that are probably not considered in that what you're counting that would still show up.
Northumberland is the
disagree
most
I
rural.
don't disagree with Win in terms of like the capacity that they would obviously look at that and they'd be careful not to have it too big because image is everything, and if there's empty seats, it's not going to look good. And I think they'd be very wary of that. So yeah, 100,000 for me would be
That's too much.
too big. But it's just the season ticket thing I kind of disagree with. I think like I get what you're saying from a business point of view that they might think that way, but I just obviously wouldn't agree with having the majority or like 95% of the stadium being season tickets. I think it seems a bit much to me, but yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, so let's go back to circa. What are we talking about? 2011, 10.
2004.
Oh, damn! They're old as hell. All right. Niet bother, man. So we're talking about 2004. That was when you guys. So at the time we had problems with the atmosphere, right? Is that what what do you think it was? Because War Flags wasn't invented then.
Robson had came in and got us back to the top 5, top 4, and so initially everyone was buzzing. Do you know what I mean? But it was mainly that 5th season where we finished 5th, and I defy anyone who was going to the games back then to kind of not agree that the atmosphere, I think, had taken a bit of a hit, and that it just seemed a bit lifeless. It seemed a bit flat, even though we were doing well. It just seemed like to me that a lot of fans were taking things for granted. Expecting, demanding to be top up, and that's expectation. We were a good side, so I understand that. But I think there'd been when the extension came in 2000, there was a rejig of the seating arrangements. It wasn't just the cantilevered roof. I think they moved around some season ticket holders from the Gallowgate End and the Leazes, I think. And it just seemed like the atmosphere in 2004, to me, I was going to games and I was next to the away fans at times and we were just getting outsung every game. And it was like embarrassing. For me, it was embarrassing. We're winning games, but I remember like the Leeds game, we won 1-0 and they got Leeds fans just absolutely just singing their heads off. And that's all you could hear. And you could hear like a pin drop amongst us. And it was just frustrating. So we started a campaign, me, Peter, and friends we knew back then, Tanzo, so I don't know if he's watching, but I haven't supported him in a long time. But we started a website, Bring Back the Noise, and got in contact with the Chronicle, and we tried to advertise for the cup games, like UEFA Cup at the time, but advertised for the Leazes Level 7 because that was where there was less season ticket holders and more scope to try and organise things. So we advertised for Leazes Level 7 to be a singing section. We'll have like-minded fans gather there for the cup games to try and get the atmosphere going a bit, where people are together and not just dotted around where the atmosphere is getting killed that way. So we're in the Chronicle, did a lot of advertising with shops, and then we didn't know what to expect. So we went to the Mallorca game in UEFA Cup. And yeah, do you want to take it from there, Peter?
I saw, like Tim says,
Before you continue, sorry, let me interrupt you real quick. So Nick Thornton, thank you for the super chat. He says, when we're averaging 49,000 in the championship under Ashley, 70-75 stadium would be filled every single week.
49,000 in the championship when we're top of the league the whole time.
What top of the league? Man, I'll smack you if you say that again, man. Top of the league in the championship, boy. What's wrong with you? That's the
Well,
must.
that's what we were.
That's a
Top
must.
of the league. We were
Ain't nobody buzzing.
promotion all
Nobody's buzzing about that, man. That's what we need to do to get back where we belong.
Well, yeah, all you're saying is we were selling out when we were winning every game.
Anyway,
Wow.
man. Anyway,
Who
man.
knew?
Well, he celebrates the championship, man. Sorry. Go on, Peter. Sorry.
Well, it was him that brought the championship up, not me.
Sorry, man. Go on.
yeah. I saw, just going back there, it's 2004, wasn't it? So yeah, back then there was no social media like now. And so yeah, we would like go to the shops around town and put up posters saying it was the Mallorca match, UEFA Cup against Real Mallorca. I'll have to dig out a photograph. I've got my computer back home, but I took a photo of when I put the poster up, and it would be quite good for you to show that, I think, show the viewers. But yeah, it just said singing section, level 7. So John Allstand, UEFA Cup, Real Mallorca. Get yourselves there. If you're the vocal fan, like if you want to be amongst like-minded fans, get yourself there. And it took off. It was rocking. Like Tim says, the Chronicle helped because they'd done an article on it. And yeah, like we went to the stadium and like game kicks off and you got like what seemed like 2,000-3,000 Geordies just standing up, just chanting, singing all the time. It was like, yes, this is more like it. You know what I mean? Like it was refreshing because, like Tim says, I think it was a bit flat in the league games. So it just evolved from there because that, like I say, it was 2004 when that first started, and it was kind of like we had to select these cup games because in the league, obviously, you got the season ticket holders. You can't just say, right, everyone, go online and say, everyone, go to this section if you want to go in a singing section. Back then, it was forums that we would use, not social media. But
Yeah.
I remember distinctly that the following season, we had Chelsea at home in the FA Cup, I think the 5th round, and then Tottenham in the quarter-final, both at home. And we had people being chased by stewards. Like, seriously, like, you had people coming up level 7, running at the top of the stairs, standing in front of you or behind you, saying, hiding from the steward down there because this isn't my seat. I'm supposed to be over there. And
We were sharing seats basically. One was standing on the seat, and the other was
yeah,
standing in front.
you had some, because everyone wanted to be at the back,
Oh.
you see, where the noise was coming from. Honestly, it was crazy. It was like, you just wouldn't get that now, I don't think. But yeah, you had literally had fans sharing seats, and it was class because, like Tim says, we had the away fans to our left, and we just put them in their place. You know what I mean? Like,
Totally, yeah.
if they ever try to like give us any stick, we'd just give it straight back, and we would try and like just dominate the atmosphere. And it was just like, it was rocking. It was class. But that kind of evolved over time because eventually, I can't remember how this happened, but eventually it did kind of segue into the league.
But what it was I think it was actually, I mean, believe it or not, while Ashley owned the club, they did actually make that corner because they moved the away fans to Leazes level 7 and created the corner then in level 7 to be the official kind of singing section for like-minded fans to gather. The club actually, to be fair to them, did make that official, but it was only then, a few years later when Ashley did what Ashley does. And we were telling them, he's sitting down there in the Milburn, we're up above him in the corner, pelting them with songs, telling them what we think of him because of what he was doing. So he obviously didn't like that. And, come 2011 is when he decided to, last game of the season, the club put an announcement out.
The week before, wasn't it?
The week before, was it? Right. And they said, like, just to let you know, the corner in Leazes level 7 is going to be disbanded for the family enclosure. So you'll have to go somewhere else if you want to keep your section. And bear in mind, this is like 3,000 fans, do you know what I mean? Who were like-minded together. This isn't just like 100. Oh, this is 3,000. Right. So like, so we had a mad scramble to try, and somebody said in the comments there, was it Nathan said about Toon Ultras? Yeah, that it morphed into Toon Ultras through the years. And so then come 2011-12, it was a mad scramble to try and relocate somewhere unofficially. So we chose the Strawberry Corner. So a lot of like-minded fans went to Strawberry Corner, which isn't as big a location, but it was like needs must. And it kind of carried on, although it just wasn't as raucous. Apart from, to be fair, some of the UEFA Cup games under Pardew, where, again, you've got more scope to get general sale tickets there. But it carried on. It's always been, when I've been, and from what I can see, the area that generates the atmosphere and creates the atmosphere to go from to the other stands. And ideally it will be extended along with this because it is now the standing section. But yeah, that's kind of where I think it all came from. And I'm just so pleased that I'm not there now, but I'm pleased that the Strawberry Corner still has remnants of fans who want to go there, who can create atmosphere.
And well, that's where it comes from. That's where it comes from nowadays.
So. We need that. We need that, and that's where the club, I think, unlike Mike Ashley back then, I'd like to think we've got owners now who want to communicate, who want to work with us. And I know there's a lot of PR stuff in that, and take that with a pinch of salt. But I'd like to think that they want to have the atmosphere as good as possible, and they've got to bear these things in mind where it comes to existing seating plans or seating plans for a new stadium to cater towards like-minded fans. Because if you take that away, then you've got a pretty soulless matchday experience potentially, in my opinion.
Oh, lovely story, man. Lovely story. And of course, the things weren't going well. And then Ashley said, "Nah, I can't have that. I can't have fans chanting against me." So
Pete and Tim, the original ultras.
Oh, the original ultras, man. Let's see, the original ultras of the Toon Ultras, ladies and gents. No, but great story though. Great story. I mean, it's the 2 times that I've been there, the strawberry corner certainly is the one that gets it going nonstop. Mighty Wind, though, you were there, man, this whole time, apparently, according to you. So how come you don't remember this story, man?
Well, I do vaguely remember the story, but I was in my seat, wasn't I? I was quite comfortable.
Oh, you were quite comfortable sitting around, just like any good old season ticket holder. You just got my seat. I ain't got to worry about nothing else.
Not getting your hands dirty.
Hey, ooh.
We are knackered.
Uh,
I had my ultra days in the 70s, man. That was proper ultras.
True.
To be fair, level
That
7.
was that was when you were going away and paying at the turnstiles.
you
Didn't need no loyalty badges then.
you could
Loyalty
smoke.
points then.
You could smoke in the stadium.
You could smoke where you wanted, bunny
Where you
lad.
wanted, yeah.
The manager was smoking. What are you talking about?
Some of the players were smoking. Man.
Uncle
It's like,
Bennett
man, we're
used to
playing
come-
rubbish. It's like, man, we're playing rubbish.
Wasn't
Man.
it? Was it Clarkey or Hibbett used to smoke a cigar?
I don't know about that, but Uncle Bennett used to come on and dump his tab on the touchline as he ran onto the pitch.
Yeah. Look at that. We're gonna show my Mighty Win back in the day. Yeah. I gotta change this to me. No, it's like nothing like the old days, is it? I mean, look at that.
No,
What
them
is
was the
that?
days.
Man, where the days, man. I'm assuming the away end today is crazy though, man. It's crazy good, like the away ends now.
Well, they complain every week, though, don't they? The away fans being
Look
up
at
in the gods.
That's the Newcastle United fans on the Gallowgate End terraces at St. James's Park, man. Look at that.
Actually, I think that might be the Leazes End after they took the roof off.
Roof off, yeah.
Oh, they said the Gallowgate End, so I don't know. Interesting stuff, man. The ultras back in the day, man. Oh, this is the picture I'm looking for right here. This is the picture I'm looking for. We'll wait until it gets through because I just love this guy, man. Like, it's all nothing but black and white. It almost looks like that guy just grab a white shirt and just colored stripes
Then
on it.
I tell you where that is.
That's proper right there, man.
That's 74 Hillsborough. That
Oof.
semi-final.
It is well, I got it right here actually. It is the 74 FA Cup final, Wembley. 74 FA Cup.
I think that's the semi-final.
Man, so you going to disagree with the report, man? How can this guy? Oh my God! Hey Nathan, match preview.
That's just a photograph that somebody's put in an article.
Mate, it says right here. Look, Newcastle United fans, 74 FA Cup final, Wembley, 1974, courtesy of PA Images. There you go, man.
Beautiful.
Lovely though, lovely with the hat and everything.
He was up to the same antics as Hillsborough.
All right, and by the way, Nathan, our preview was earlier today, man. So
my hair was as long as his then.
Ooh, Mighty Win, boy! He was galloping through the streets of the Toon to rescue ladies in distress to satisfy himself. There you go, man. That's when he had hair and everything. Nathan, preview was earlier today, mate. A Fulham preview, so go and watch it. It's already on the channel. Go rewatch it. It was Gary and the Mighty Win that did it earlier on because we had this show. So stay tuned on Thursday. Sometime on Thursdays, the preview is going to be out there. So go watch it. But right now, we got to call it off. It's been great. Gary, Peter, Tim, Mighty Win, lovely to have you guys on, of course. Tim, I might need you in the match for Arsenal, the Arsenal match, if that's okay with you. And put you on the spot in front of people. That's not good, is it?
Can't do it.
There you go. And Brent will be on Saturday because obviously the schedules in America and UK time zones and everything. So, anyways, it's been lovely. Thank you so much for your kind support. Go check out the preview earlier on today. It's been great. And how are the lads? Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you to all of our super chatters. Lovely. Thank you so much. We'll see you in the next one. But tomorrow, press conference, 9:10 in the morning. See you then.
Bye-bye.
Until now.
How are the lads?
Lasses and bands.